Well, welcome to Noel's World of Whiskey. And we've just gotten back from Scotland, 3 weeks, 4,500 kilometers. I don't know how many miles that would be, but lots of driving. Had one of my super drivers with me, my daughter Laura, and Rachel she did a lot of the planning. Her husband Randy and we got a chance to see some scenery because we weren't driving. Randy did a lot of the navigating. I tried. But anyways, we're back, and didn't get a lot of sleep because we got in pretty late last night, delayed flights, etc. That's a 10-hour flight. So anyways, what did I bring back? Well, I brought back a bit of stuff, but this in particular, this was the last distillery I was at, and I don't know if you can see from here, recognize that bag. There it is, and of course we all can see there, we can see 3 names: Springbank, Longrow, Hazelburn, Kilkerran. And of course I did a lot of video and got some video of the distillery. Even they allowed me to video the tour, which was pretty impressive. But anyways, we've got there's a story about the lineup. I had to be there very early in the morning the following day to be able to pick that up, stand in line for a couple hours. That's how it is to get the good stuff. Anyways, and there are the flippers that stand in line too. I'll maybe tell you a little bit about that later. But anyways, I've got one here that I'm kind of wanting to review, and the reason I want to review it, I've got the 15, and of course I did the 14 already, but the 15, the 14 Springbank, I'm going to leave till later. I think we'll get into the Longrow 9-year-old, because I've kind of promised this to somebody, and I said all I want to do is just to do a review on it. Maybe get a taste of it and give it a score maybe. And this one's quite interesting. I'll bring it up close, and you can, I don't know if you can read all the information on it there, but it's telling me it's from Warehouse 15, rotation number 8, and it's the Longrow Fresh Palo Cortado. I love my Palo Cortados. So there you are, Palo Cortado. It is 56.3% in strength, and it gives you the date. I believe that's the date that it was cast, and we're looking at, and that's early 2015. So it's 9.5 years old. And of course, it's purchased by Noel Sharp. Says it's duty paid sample for trade purposes only. I am not sure what that means. Anyways, we're going to give this let's give it a review, and let's see what it's all about, because somebody is waiting for this. I think they are going to enjoy this. I hope they are. But we're going to find out ahead of time what this is all about. Okay, 9-year-old Longrow Palo Cortado by Springbank. And let's try that one again. That's more like it. Okay, let's pour a little dram there. And let's get into it. First, I'd like to show you the color of it. Maybe we'll see if we can get some legs happening here, but I will show you the color of it. So there you are. So we're going to let this sit for a bit here. I'm going to just show you a little short piece of video I did of the inside the distillery. Maybe we might even sneak in a little bit of the trip traveling down the coast there. So, and we will see you when you get back. So much.
We traveled over 4,300 kilometers down many narrow and difficult winding roads, but had no regrets because we'd captured that mood and beauty of Scotland. It was a long but incredibly scenic trip traveling down from the Isle of Skye through Oban. Now we've finally arrived on the Kintyre Peninsula, a world on its own. There we would head to Campbeltown, at one time the whiskey capital of the world, and for some a pilgrimage, and the home to Springbank Distillery.
We are in Campbeltown, and I still have a raspy voice. Looking out to Campbeltown there, that's the other side of the harbour. And we went over and looked at Glen Scotia over there. And get a bit of an idea of the place we got here. This is it. Yeah, there it is. So we're just coming into Springbank here. Springbank Distillery. And we'll go into the visitor center and we'll get registered. Just looking at some of our Longrow here. There's some 10-year-old Longrow and some smaller bottles down there. I think I'll be bringing a few of them back. Let's see, we got the Springbank 10 there. Oh, Black Ladder 1993. Boy, they've got some classics in here. 35-year-old. Wow, 25, 50-year-old. Oh, there's some incredible whiskeys here. 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. And we're looking at the 16 on the right. There's the 10 next to it on the left. And we got a bit of a mix between the 9 and the 10s. And there's an 11. That's an odd year. That's a Sherrywood there, 13. And that is the 14 Portwood there. Actually, that's the one I've got. So I've got the 14 Portwood. We are going up to the malting room. This is one of the few distilleries that still have a malting floor. So we're looking at the malting floor.
You can pick some up and have a wee look. So this is our Laureate barley that we get from the east coast of Scotland. And if not, you could be leaving a layer on the bottom that's all into together and we would be able to use it.
And this is called the turner?
Yes, there's the turner.
The peat pile.
And the aim of this process is to stop the little rootlets from growing and we'll dry it right down. So on the floor, it was around 46% moisture. After the kiln, it's right down to between 4 and 6%. So to keep track of what we have in each bin, we have what we call our Springbank computer. Has anyone heard of it before? No? To make sure that all the bins are completely empty. So there's little ridges around the side that malt can get stuck on. So all they'll do, this one here should be empty, I'll just give it a hit. You can hear a few wee grains running down. They'll just give the bins a good bash. You can see the marks on the bins where they have been hit and make sure it's completely empty. We don't want to get any Longrow grains of malt going into a hazel burn. Porters itself went out of business in the early 1970s because the products they produced were so well made, they barely broke down. So great for us, but not good for the business. There's still one engineer who services mills in the whole of the UK, and thankfully he's training up apprentices to continue his job. Because if something goes wrong here, our production stops. So it is a vital piece of machinery. This is our mash tun. It's a traditional open top iron cast mash tun which is over 100 years old. What we do here is try to extract as much sugar as we can from our grist. So to do this we do 4 waters. Our first water is 17,000 litres at 63.5 degrees Celsius. And what we get is a sugary water called wort. And then what we've got left is called draft. So it's shoveled down the chute into the trailer. You'll be able to see it just outside there. And a local farmer will collect it and take it to feed their cattle. So apparently we have very happy cattle around Campbeltown.
And this is the truck full of draft.
From our underback in the corner. But before that, our wort, it passes through a paraffin. And this cools the liquid down to between 16 and 20 degrees Celsius. We do this because we add a distiller's yeast. So you
So we're leaving the washbacks and we're going downstairs.
So we take 11,000 litres of our wash into our wash still, which is on the far hand side there. Each still has got steam coils inside to heat the liquid up, but our wash still also has a direct burner below it. There's a flame to help heat it up. So our wash is heated up, the alcohol evaporates up the swan's deck, out the line arm, and it hits the red shell and tube condenser that I pointed out earlier. When this happens, it turns back into liquid and comes in here as our full wine. So it sits at about 25% ABV. It's heavy and oily and full of impurities, so we don't want to use that. That's the first distillation. So we'll take our full wines into the first full wine still in the middle. It's heated up, the alcohol evaporates, up the swan's deck, out the line arm, and this time it hits the worm tub condenser. So again, it turns back into liquid, and this then comes over here as our base. So it's about 35% ABV. It's stronger, but just not what we're after yet. For just now, we can store our fates in one of the vats at the back there. We'll take the other 11,000 litres of wash into our wash still, and the exact same process happens. They'll come back in as our low wines. So to get our 2.5 distillation, we take a combination of our fates and our low wines and put it into the second wine still here. So in the end, some of it will have been distilled 3 times and some will have been distilled 2 times. So this is how we can call it a 2.5 distillation. So for Springbank, we run the heads for 45 minutes. And this is like between 70 and 80% ABV. So very, very strong, traces of methanol. We don't want to be using this. So this is our heads or tails running just now. They'll run in on this left hand side here. We'll then cut it to collect our hearts into the middle pot here. And for Springbank, we run this for 6 hours, down to about 60% ABV. So from that middle pot, our hearts is stored in the vat in the far corner there, and we'll then take our hearts through to our filling store, ready to go into our vat. That's the only part that we'll take on. We'll then cut the spirit again and collect our tails back in over here. And we run it right down to 1% ABV. We can then take our heads and tails again and put it back into one of our vats. The traces of methanol, they will break down after going through another cycle. I'm assuming that's heads because I'm getting a very strong smell. So that is our Springbank 2.5 distillation.
We're going to go take a look right in here. And there it is, it's pouring out, and I'm just going to stick my finger in here, and I'm going to have a taste. And we're sort of getting a little bit of a panorama here of Springbank. It's kind of like a courtyard.
8.5% ABV. So that's the percentage that the spirit will be filled in our casks at. So our casks are all stenciled before they arrive in here. You've got the company name, year of distillation, the product which is inside, and then there's a number on it. So that's the number of casks that we have filled this year. There's also a letter, either A, B or C,
looking over toward Kilkerran there, that is the Glengyle Distillery. And we're in the dunnage warehouses now.
This is one of our traditional dunnage warehouses. So dunnage is Gaelic for air. Casks must mature in here for a minimum of 3 years. After that, we can take it out and bottle it. It just depends on what management are deciding to do. We also cannot let the spirit drop below 40% ABV, otherwise we couldn't call it whiskey anymore. So all our casks in here are regularly checked and monitored, make sure none of them are starting to crack or bursting, and I'm hoping all that's on a computer as well. It's not endless sheets of paper or cardboard somewhere. We do have a range of casks. There's white wine, port, Madeira, rum. We do also mature some casks for Cadenhead in here, so you will see some other whiskies than Springbank, Longrow, Hazelburn.
And you own Cadenhead.
Yes, yes.
And I think we're heading in to have a dram.
So the wee driver's dram is the Springbank regular 10-year-old. The wee miniature that you get to take away, it's Springbank 8-year-old, and it's 100% bourbon. It's just bottled for everybody on the tours, so you get to take that away as well. For everybody who can have a dram, you can either choose from our Hazelburn 10-year-old, so no peat, Springbank 10-year-old, lightly peated, or our Longrow heavy.
I got up early the following day and was the third person in the lineup almost 2 hours before the opening. There were only 2 15-year-old Springbanks available, and I got one of them, as well as the only 9-year-old cask-strength Longrow Palo Cortado. Most of those in the lineup left without a bottle.
Well, welcome back, and let's get right into this Longrow. 9 years, Palo Cortado cask finished. I think there was a couple of years in the Palo Cortado cask, at least a couple of years. So they didn't disclose that much information, but at least 2 to 3 years. So, anyways, let's give it the nose. I definitely right off the bat, I'm getting those medicinal notes. Some rubber tires, maybe even rubber gumboots. I'm getting a little bit of my wheelhouse and my commercial fish boat there. And there's some sweetness. Definitely some umami notes. A few spices mixed in with the smoke. There's a bit of beech going on here, beech fire. Not so much the beech fire that you get with say a Lagavulin. This is more of a dirty beech fire. So we got some leather even mixed in with that smoke. Anyways, the palate, Solange. Well, we got the smoke, the peat with a bit of sweetness to it. I'm getting berries. I'm getting a little bit of a bite, a little bit of astringency here, a little bit of bitterness, but again, more of the berries. Tasting something meaty, maybe a pork chop, a little bit of barbecue sauce on it, and licorice notes. And that's dark licorice, like the licorice that has a bite. always fear the strong Dutch licorice. And it coats your mouth. You're getting a heck of a coating on your mouth. So sweetness, maybe even getting some caramel notes mixed in here. But I'm going to throw some water in this. And let's just see what the water does. So I've got my new dropper here, but I haven't cleaned it out yet. That's my new Johnny Walker dropper, but because I haven't cleaned it out, I'm going to stick with my my old-fashioned method here. And it's easier for me to measure the amount until I get to know that dropper. So let's go with this guy. Throw a little bit of water in it there. It can take a bit. Remember, this is 56 point, well, I forget what it's 50. I'll have to take another peek at it there so we can give it a wee bit of water there. So the old swirl. Okay, the nose with water. So the rubber boots are still there, but there's a sweetness. And I'm going to stay with the leather notes. Sweet leather. I've got in the background there, that smoke is softened a little bit there, and it's got some scents, some floral scents. Maybe it's heather, but something floral going on with the smoke. But the caramel's still there, and the berries are still there. It's more of a fruit jam. Okay, the palate with water. It likes water. It likes water. That is nice. It really balances it out. So sweeten it up a bit. Getting a lot more of that Palo Cortado now. And I'm tasting still a bit meaty, but it's brought on the caramel, the dates. Still slightly dry, good coating on the mouth. And all I can say is it just really balances out. You really want to add water to this. It really opens it up. You've got the right amount of peach, you've got the right amount of berries, sweetness, slight bit of sour to it, lost a lot of the bitter notes, something buttery about it. Boy, when I say buttery, I'm creamy. This is an excellent drink when you play with water. You have to have the palate for it at 56.3%. It's something that I do it for tasting, but I always add water when I get into the higher percentages, especially with the heavier smoked whiskeys and that, including, Longrow, Brooklag, Ardbeg, Lafroig, Lagavulin. They're all, when they're higher in the ppm, and higher in the ABV, there's so much impact to the palate that sometimes I think we do lose a bit and we miss stuff. And I just think when you add water, you still get that, a slight bit of that intensity in the smoke, but you're also getting the intensity of the whiskey, the character of the still, etc. And I think it gives the the whiskey a chance to express itself. And also let the water sit in the glass. I did a bit of a swirl there. There's some people, I've heard descriptions of soapy with some of the Longrows. Because it's one of the dirtier whiskeys, we're going to get people talk about sulfur. I'm not getting any sulfur at all. So I'm going to say this Longrow is expressing itself without the sulfur notes, or the sulfur is well hidden. What am I going to give this guy? This is definitely, 83, 84-ish, somewhere in that range there. That's where I'd put it, 84. I think is a fair score for it. For a very young whiskey, that's a good score. 9.5 years of age. That's a good score for that age. I'm going to leave it at that. I recommend this if you can get it. So if you're at the distillery and there's a Palo Cortado cask that's sitting in front of you, and you couldn't get the 15, this guy here, you couldn't get this guy here, you couldn't get the 10. Well, for the 10, I've got the 10, we'll be reviewing that later on. I'd go for that, the Longrow Palo Cortado. If you like the smoke, definitely a good whiskey. So on that note, I'm gonna leave you, and I'm gonna ask you to drink wisely, drink intelligently, and do not drink and drive. And until the next time, so long.